Alright YouTube, let's get straight into this tier list. So this is a fully updated Season 18 Heirloom tier list, but the one that is missing is Fuse's Heirloom that just released yesterday. So in order to do that, we're not going to be ranking the Heirloom skins, we are going to use this Bloodhound skin as a placeholder for Fuse. So let's get started. Bloodhound's Heirloom. And me personally guys, I think this is a B tier heirloom. It's cool, it's okay, it's not like the best heirloom, it's really simple, but it's still nice sometimes. So I think B tier is a solid little spot for it. Hopefully you guys don't get too mad at me for that. Next, we got Wraith's original kunai. And I think I'm gonna put the original kunai in A tier. And honestly guys, it would be higher, but me personally, I prefer the new reskin of the heirloom. That's just me. I know how iconic this one is for a lot of y'all, so A tier is a good spot for it, and it will always just be a classic.
Doesn't matter as much as who I am now.
Next, we have Lifelines. And Lifelines is either gonna be B or A for me. I think I'm gonna go B, me personally. I don't have anything against them necessarily. I don't know. Lifeline isn't the greatest character nowadays. I really hope she gets a rework, but for me personally, I don't know. I think B tier is a good spot. Next, we have Mirages, and I'm gonna put Mirage in B tier as well. It's got some really cool animations for the heirloom, but again, me personally, don't like Mirage too much. Really hope he gets a rework so he becomes more usable. But as far as that goes, I think B is just a solid spot for it.
Oh, this is just great. Mom's gonna love this.
Next, we've got Pathy's Gloves. And I'm a Pathfinder main, so I might be a little bit biased with this, but I think A is a really solid spot for him. I really wish they had more animations involved with them, but I think they just fit Pathfinder so well, and they just have a really cool aesthetic. So I think A is a fair spot for it. Next, we have Octane's Butterfly Knife. And I'm gonna put the Butterfly Knife in S tier. I just think the Butterfly Knife in like a video game setting is just so classic and so clean. Like, it just looks really nice, and I think the animations and inspections for it are just really cool, and it's a classic heirloom at the end of the day too. So I think a lot of people will agree with me on that, but if not, let me know how you feel. Next, we have Bangalore's Cold Steel, and I think I'm gonna put the Cold Steel in it's either A or B for me guys, but I think I'm gonna go B tier. I like the simplicity of it, but I wish it had more to offer in terms of an heirloom. Like, there's a lot of other heirlooms that have better animations and just better aesthetics, but it is simple, it is clean, and it is still nice to have sometimes. So I think this is a good spot for it. Next, we have Rev's OG heirloom, and I'm going to put that in A tier. I think it's an awesome heirloom, and I think the animations for it are really cool as well, but I don't think it belongs quite in S tier. So I think A tier is a solid spot for it. Next is Gibby's, and I think I'm going to have to go B tier. This isn't my favorite heirloom, to be real with you guys. I think it's cool sometimes, but I don't know. It's just not really it for me, to be real with you. It is really simple, and some of the animations are cool, but I think B tier is just a solid spot for it. Next, we have Caustic's Hammer. And I really like this because the animations, one, are really cool, the inspections are cool, but I think just the aesthetic of the hammer in general is also really cool. Like, it just looks like a really good heirloom. Like, you can tell they spent a lot of time on it, and I think it mixes really well with Caustic's prestige skin. So I think A tier is a solid spot for it. Next, we have Watson's Walmart scanner. I think I'm gonna put this in, I think I'm gonna go B tier. I personally like this heirloom a lot. I know there's a lot of like hate towards it. I don't think it deserves a lot of the hate that it gets, but for me personally, it just doesn't fall in the top of my list. But I still think it's really cool, and I still think you should get it if you're a Watson main. Next, we have Rampart's Wrench, and I am going to put this probably in A tier. I just think that the inspections and the animations are really cool, and I think it fits Rampart very well. The bubblegum dispenser is one of my favorite animations, so I think that just in general helps it a lot. But I just think overall A tier is a good spot. It really suits Rampart well, like I said, so I think that's fair. Next, we have Crypto's Sword, and I'm going to put Crypto's Sword in S tier. I know Crypto is nowhere near an S tier legend, but me personally, I absolutely love this heirloom. I honestly don't know what it is about it. It's like really super clean, simple. Animations and inspections are really on point for it. And I don't know. I just really like the aesthetic of the heirloom. So I think S tier is a very fair spot for it. Next, we have Valkyrie's Spear. And I think I'm going to go A tier as well. I really like the idea of the spear just in itself, and the animations and inspections for it are just absolutely awesome. And it's really cool how well they fit in with Valkyrie's prestige skin as well. So I think A tier is a very fair spot for it. Let me know what you guys think about that. Next, we have Loba's Fan, and I'm going to put that in S tier. Loba's Fan recently has become absolutely probably my favorite heirloom. I cannot tell you how much fun I have spitting that fan around, honestly guys, and her inspections and animations are also really cool for it. So if you haven't gotten Loba's Fan yet and you have some shards, I would 100% recommend it, especially because Loba is as good as she is. So I think S tier is a very fair spot for it. Next, we have Sears, and I think I'm going to put Sears in A tier. And it could have been B, but I just really like the animations and the simplicity of the heirloom itself. I think it's really cool, and I think it's just definitely a good heirloom choice overall. Obviously, Sear is well and gone nerfed and shouldn't be coming back anytime soon, but his heirloom is going to be A tier for me. Next, we have Ash's Nunchucks, and I am going to put that in A tier as well. I know a lot of people don't really mention Ash's heirloom as much as they should, but the animations and just like the overall aesthetic of the heirloom in general is really cool, and I just love the idea of nunchucks in a video game too on top of that. So I think A tier is a very fair spot for it. Let me know what you guys think about that. Next, we have Wraith's recolor of the kunai, and I'm going to put that S tier. I just think it's one of the dopest and coolest heirlooms in the game. Again, a very classic one as well, especially if you didn't get a chance to get Wraith's original kunai. I think you would not be in any wrong state to be getting this one as well. Again, one of my favorites, and I think they did an amazing job on the recolor. Next is Horizon's heirloom. And honestly guys, I don't really like this thing at all. I don't know. I think they could have done a better job with Horizon's heirloom. It's okay, but at the end of the day, it just doesn't really suit me at all. I don't know. It was just always weird to me. So I think C tier is a fair spot for it. Next, we have Revenant's recolor. And guys, I don't know if any of you guys have gotten Revenant's recolor yet, but it is absolutely 100% worth it. It comes with so much stuff. First of all, the emote that it comes with is so awesome. Like, there's like 4 or 5 different animations in the emote alone that comes with the heirloom. So I just really think you can't go wrong, especially with how good Revenant is nowadays. I just think it's an awesome choice for an heirloom, and I don't think any of you would regret getting it. Next is Fuse's heirloom, and guys, I don't think I need to say too much more about Fuse's heirloom. It is so freaking cool. They did such an amazing job on Fuse's heirloom. Like, truly, I was blown away with how good it looked, how great the animations were, and just how well it fits Fuse overall. I just think you really can't go wrong with getting it. It's brand new, and Fuse is going to be used a lot more during this season and upcoming seasons, I'm willing to bet. So, yeah, I think S tier is a fair spot for it. Alright guys, thank you for watching.